Good morning, life show ruiners and wannabes claiming that you had this before me. Good morning to those of you that don't even know what a period pad is. Good morning to those of you that don't know what a tampon is or how to use one. Same thing as a period pad. Good morning to all of you that don't know what a washcloth is and how to use one. Good morning to those of you that don't know what a bar soap is and don't know how to use one. This is a show and a message to all of those that don't know how to use it. This is the beginner's club. Let's go. The beginning. Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth for those that don't know. So, welcome. To learn something, someone has to show you what it is in order for you to know it. And I'll be the person. Because you see, the ones that are telling me, you can't have that, or we ruined your show, guess what? They don't know. I.e., the song, they don't know where I'm coming from, they don't know. You know that one? But yet you don't even know what a bar soap is. Let's go and get, let's go get the cue card. Let's go. But first, before we do that, let's make sure that I can show you what a body towel is. This is a body towel, is double-sided. You use this to dry off your skin when you have a shower, when you come out of the swimming pool, anything with water, basically. This is what you use a body towel to dry off. But a body towel can also temporarily on an equipment prevent splashes of water on technology. Okay, so this is a body towel, and you use it to prevent water from, being too impeding, and as well, you don't have to walk around your bedroom not knowing what a body towel is for a half hour, letting your skin dry off. A body towel dries up the water really quickly. Okay, so that's a body towel. Portion A of you can have that. And you don't know what a body towel is. But okay. Now continuing in with this cue card right here. Now I don't have to eat this meal today, but I'm preparing this meal so that I can eat it on Saturday and Sunday, so I don't have to cook on Saturday and Sunday. Okay? So I'm cooking it today, Friday, so I don't have to cook it on Saturday and Sunday. I just use the microwave to warm it up because I already cooked it today. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. Preparing ahead, meal prepping ahead for Saturday and Sunday so I don't have to cook on Saturday and Sunday. Okay? Now, what is the question on this cue card? Why did the psalmist describe inanimate objects as rejoicing? I.e., therefore, can you have that? Why did you buy that at Dollarama? And let's add, as though I don't know today, you can have that. Let's add that one again. 6 years later. Okay? Let's put the paper on the table because the counter will get wet on the table, on the counter. The paper will get wet on the counter because we're around water and the kitchen sink, okay? But first, we're going to start off by pre-boiling some water because this is sponsored by Pepsi. So thank you so much to Pepsi for sponsoring today's video. Thank you very much to Pepsi for sponsoring early prep, weekend prep meals. I truly appreciate it. Okay? So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the kettle over here to boil because I'm gonna use the plug in the stove to boil the kettle in order to make the Pepsi while I use this warmer that can also cook your meals after a couple of hours. It will cook your meals. You can use this to cook your meals, and I'll have something to eat this weekend. I will absolutely have something to eat this weekend, and I will be good with that. Okay? I'll be good with having something to eat this weekend using this three warmer, and all I'd have to use is the microwave to reheat. Okay? So, let's plug this in the kettle, all right, in order to make the homemade Pepsi. There. Let's plug that in. There's been a large order of Pepsi coming in from South America and America, as well as South Africa, made by my hands. There's been a really large order that has come in, and I am going to, for this order, I'm going to be making the cherry Pepsi. Let me show you the ingredient I'll be putting in the cherry Pepsi. I used this the other day in another juicing ingredient. I'll be using this in order to make cherry Pepsi today. The rest of what's left in the bottle. Okay, so I'll be using that in order to make the cherry Pepsi once the water is boiled. Anyways, let's get to the meal prep. And I think one, two, three. One of these is going to be boiled eggs in this one. I was going to do the salmon today, but I don't think I'm going to do the salmon until probably Monday. All right? I think I'm going to wait until Monday then to do the salmon. So let's get the containers in. Number one. Let's get the containers in. Let's plug it up and let's preheat. Okay? So now I'm going to grab a couple of ingredients here. Drink the coffee at the same time to make the Pepsi. Brown sugar, white sugar, and the salt. Okay? So let's get to it. Now the first one I'm going to do is the chicken. The chicken. Okay? And I'm going to do about 4 chicken legs, which will be fine for me for this weekend. 4 chicken legs right there, okay? 4 chicken legs. And then we're going to put it back in the bag, like so. Tie off the bag and put the rest of the chicken legs back in the freezer. Put it there in the freezer. Okay? Now, I need to go and grab my scissors to open the sausage because I'm going to be cooking all of these sausages as well. Gonna be cooking all of the sweet and juicy sausages. I bought these last week Sunday, but I'm going to be cooking them and eating them intermittently throughout the month of August. Okay? So let me go grab my scissors. Alright, let's bring this here and let's cut this open. Okay? Now that we've cut that open, let's get the scissors. Alright, bring this back over here. Alright, and then we're just going to take all of that and dump it into the center bowl. I'm going to dump all of that sausage into the center bowl. Right. Real quick, real easy. Instead of taking it out one by one, you just dump it in one time. Real quick, real easy. So this is what the chicken looks like. Okay. This is what the sausages look like. Okay. And then we're gonna put the eggs in. So one last egg in that container. And then how many am I doing? Four eggs, and I'm gonna use this one that's cracked. Want to make sure that all the cracked eggs are used. Nothing else is only supposed to be four, but I'm going in with five because there's a cracked one right there as well. So that's five. Now, the next thing to do is to add the water. Add the water. Measuring cup. Where is my measuring cup? If not, I'll use this cup. There it is. Measuring cup. An inanimate object measuring cup. But if not, I would have used the Starbucks cup. I would have used the Starbucks cup, which is this green one right here. It would have worked. Not the right tool, but it would do the job. Let's pour some water in. Okay. Pour some water in. One of the things that I'm trying to do is, can I cook these with oil? Yes. But would it make my stomach very fatty and very greasy and therefore protruding as I have had a lot of weight on my stomach? Yes. Which would cause a hernia. So I'm cooking it with water, but adding flavor to it by using seasonings. Adding flavor by using seasonings in order to prevent a well-clogged system from giving me too much hernia so that I don't have a kidney stone later because I've already had one kidney stone removed and the surgery is still underneath my boobs from 2015 when I had my kidneys removed from having a previous hernia attached to it. And I wasn't even using a lot of cooking oil then, so I don't know how that happened. Okay, we're gonna go in with the first ingredient. Uh, yes, gonna go in with the first ingredient, which is sugar. Not on the eggs, and as a matter of fact, we're gonna start boiling the eggs on low because we don't want the eggs being seasoned on the eggshell. So let's cover that. Okay? Then the next ingredient we're gonna add is salt. Okay? Okay. Let's put this one away as well. Then we're going to add the all-purpose seasoning. Okay. And this is a great inanimate tool due to the fact that I don't have to sit around and watch it cook to prevent it from burning. I don't have to sit around and watch it cook at all. I can walk away from it and leave it to cook, and I know it will be okay because it's cooking with the plugs in. Okay? And the second seasoning I had it is cayenne pepper. It's alright. Every August, I usually need to buy fresh seasonings anyways, and it just so happens to be the right time for it. August, I need seasonings. And then we're gonna add brown sugar. Brown sugar to taste. And as you can hear, the kettle just finished boiling. Okay, and so now we can go ahead and make the Pepsi. But first, let's cover these with their lids. Okay, so lid cover and lid cover. Push that back out the way. And I assume that these will be done cooking by 2 p.m. due to the fact that I do know how to use a slow cooker properly. These will be finished cooking off by 2 p.m. today. And I'll have breakfast, lunch, and dinner for Saturday and Sunday this weekend. All right? All right. So, South America, South Africa, and a global water, Pepsi. Okay? Pepsi. Let's make homemade Pepsi there. You're gonna need a storage container, another inanimate object, and this one is brought to you by Pepsi, but it is being fulfilled through Tim Hortons, the Tim Hortons factory. Okay, and the coffee that I am going to be using to make this Pepsi, if you did not know, soft drinks are made with coffee beans and not just sugar. But soft drinks are made with coffee beans, and what happens is the sugar penetrates the coffee beans. That's why it looks like there's so much sugar in the drink, is because the sugar it condenses and it penetrates the coffee beans, and the sugar eats the coffee beans and turns itself into liquefied sugar. Okay, so the coffee beans that I'll be using is the Nescafe Rich, and this is the Colombian Nescafe Rich, and this is already partially sweetened, and it's partially sweetened with caramel coffee beans. So you don't need a lot of this. One of this can take me through an entire day. I've already tried to go over one of this, and it, well, pretty much put me out. Okay, so you don't need a lot of this to get through your entire day. It is really, really, really strong. It already has a caramel flavor. You don't need a lot of sugar, but because we're going to add it to a really large jar, this is where you'll need a whole lot of sugar. Okay? So, this already has the caramel flavor. You just need brown sugar and a little bit of white sugar to extend the flavor from within the jar itself. All right? let's get her there and put the ingredients together now that the water has been boiled. And we'll need to boil that kettle twice due to the fact that you know, we'll need to fill that up more than once. So you just need about that much, and I still have more coffee. Okay? I still have more coffee. Alright? So I'm gonna add just a little bit of sugar there. A little bit to a lot. Gonna leave it out to sweeten it up. And then we're gonna add the brown sugar. Okay. And then we're gonna add our boiled hot water. You don't want to add ice to this glass, it will crack if you add ice to it. Yeah, so you don't want to add ice to this glass. The plastic one you can add ice to, but this is glass. You don't want to add ice to that. So I'm going to stir that completely until the sugar has liquefied itself. So this is science again, where you can turn solid into liquid, sugar being liquefied, and then it goes back as solid. It can do that, so that's science. Okay? All right, now let's pour that in. Okay, and now we don't need to add any more ingredients to that until we add the rest of the water. So let's add the rest of the water first. Okay, well, that's the rest of the water added. So as you can tell, I'll need to boil the kettle a second time. I will add, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'll think about it while the water fills up. Oh, and I did forget that one ingredient. So let me add that one ingredient. You just reminded me. You just reminded me. I almost forgot the cherry cola ingredient to add to the Pepsi, and I was just reminded to do so. So let me add that. Okay. So I definitely don't need to add the sugar right now. I can add the sugar at the end with the excess water if need be. I do not need to add the sugar right now because this is very, very large with sugar. So I'm ready to grab the white one of this. I'm ready to grab the white one of this. Now we're done with this one. And so I'm ready to grab the white one. All right. I'm ready to grab the white one, the large one, or whatever color is next. I'm ready to grab that now. Let's just stir all of that in. And the syrup will help to bring up the sugar from the bottom to right where the sugar is leveled at currently until the next water is boiled completely to add in the sugar. So I'll stay on with you until that happens, but then after I'm done mixing the Pepsi. I am not staying on with you until 2 p.m. I'm sorry, but I have other things to do in between the time of, well, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I have other stuff to take care of. I'm not staying on live with you for the next 8 hours. No, I'm not. I can do an hour, yes, but eight, no. All right, so we'll just stay on until the kettle is done boiling. Add the rest of these ingredients. And then what I do normally with this glass right here is I leave it to cool down outside of the fridge, because if you put it in the fridge too quickly, it will also crack. It's a very, very, very sensitive glass material. You cannot put it in the fridge too hot. It will shock the glass and it will crack. You also cannot leave it in the fridge empty. It will shock the glass and it will crack. Anything that causes a glass with a very sensitive glass tempered material, it will crack. Okay, so with hot water, you have to let it cool down to room temperature. So making it now and then putting it in the fridge at 2 p.m. will be perfect timing. It will still have a little bit of heat to it, but it will be cooled down to room temperature, enough to put in the fridge. I've done this about 4 times with this glass, including the large one. I should know that it should work with the glass. Don't put it in the fridge right away. And plus, I've also worked with this glass for years. I've worked with it off camera to know how the glass works, and now I'm working with this on camera. I have been working with this type of glass for the last, since I was 27 years old. 27 years old, so I've been working with this type of glass and its sensitivity for over 22 years, and that was before I became a mother. So, the age of 27, I started working with this glass. 22 years I've been working with this glass, and I know the strength of this glass and how and what type of heat it can take in order to cause it to break. Okay? So be careful with it. Do not put this in the fridge right away. It will break. 22 years of experience should tell you that. Let me have the dishes to wash. I will for the kettle to be boiled. Alright, that's it. So all I did there pretty much was bring it to the large sink. And what I do is I eat throughout the day. I put the dirty dishes in that dish tray in the large sink, and at the end of the day, I wash and I clean out the sink at the end of the day. I'm not washing the dishes 5 times per day. No, once a day is enough. I'll eat 5 times per day, then I'll wash the dishes, 5 dishes, one wash, and then I'm done for the rest of the day. Done. 5 dishes, one wash, eaten 5 times per day, one wash concluded, everything clean. I'm not doing it 5 times per day, no. Once is good enough. I eat 5 times per day, yes. But do I wash the dishes only once per day? Yes. Do I still have clean dishes to eat from on Saturday morning, which is tomorrow? Yes. One wash, clean dishes. Eat 5 times per day, one wash per day. You still have clean dishes. I bought this in 2020, so I don't know if they still make this version. I know they make another version of it, but I don't know if they still make this version. But I bought this in 2020. I've had this for 6 years. I use it predominantly when no one's looking. This is my first time using it with people looking. But I predominantly make my meals with this when no one's looking. If you ain't looking, I'm cooking. Now that you're looking, I'm also cooking. Oh, and by the way, predominantly when no one was looking, that's when my girls been in town. Well, watching their mama's back so that their mama can cook and eat. That's what I talk about predominantly. Not looking. My girls in town watching their mama's back. I pull this out. I cook. Let's add this water. And I can already tell by the look that it's going to need some more sugar. Okay, she's gonna need some more sugar, so we're gonna go ahead and add some more sugar to that. Okay, we're gonna add some more sugar. Okay, add sugar to that. And with working with this glass for 27 years, I should darn well know not to do that because it's also breakable when you tap it like that. I should know not to tap the glass with the spoon like that, but I do it every time. I do it every. Add some more white sugar there. And this should last me the entire month of August. Therefore, I should not be, thirsty for anything to drink because I've already prepared the drinks ahead of time. And therefore, I can just open my fridge door after 2 p.m. today and have a drink. Therefore, not thirsty. All right. Remember not to add this to the sink. The sink is cold, it will shock the glass and it will break it. So best leave it on the countertop and leave it alone on the countertop. Or if you're gonna do that and you're afraid that it's going to break, wash out the bowl, put the glass jar into a bowl, And then if it breaks into the bowl and the liquid is still in the jar. Okay. Now, the other thing is, do not store this near another heat source. It will also break. So this is the end of the show. Thank you so much to Pepsi for sponsoring this video. I need to maneuver heat sources away from this glass so that this glass does not break. Okay? So I'll see y'all later, and I hope you've learned something from me today, talking about who brought you on, the people who like to say, who brought you on to this, who brought you on to that. My daddy brought me on to all of this. That's why I know about it. And his name is John Stewart. Good morning, Mr. John Stewart. Thanks, for bringing me on to what? Well, this is what a body towel is. You use this to dry off. Thank you, sir. Much respect. My daddy brought me on. Bye.